as a matter of fact, let's go into that one. UNLV comes from behind after being down 17-6 at one point in the first half to pull out the victory. Barry Odom has those guys at 3-0 early on this season. And, I mean, this was a tale of two halves, essentially, because, everything up until that touchdown before the half, because Devin Neal, Jalen Daniels, these guys were running all over UNLV, and Kansas, it looked like at one point like Kansas didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to UNLV for starting out 3-0.
Yes.
And that's not an easy start by any means. I mean, obviously Kansas, but before that, Houston in week 1, dominating Houston. Week 2 was a blowout. It was 72-14 over Utah Tech.
Yeah.
But Houston and Kansas are no slouch, and they dominated both those teams. And where does Kansas really go from here? Because like you said, there were times in this game where they looked dominant, and there was times in this game where they looked lost.
Right.
So how does Lance Leipold kind of right the ship here and get them going? Because the good thing is these are non-conference games.
Yeah.
So they kind of got to get rolling here. Mostly because I have them losing in my conference championship prediction. So they need to get it in gear here. But yeah, kind of a rough start out of the gate for Kansas.
Yeah, this one, I mean, again, a tale of two halves. I mean, like I said, the first half, they go up 17-6, and you can really tell. So they ended up, I believe, getting a fumble or something to turn it over, and it looked like at one point right before the half, they're about to go in and really put this game away and go up, 3 scores. And then all of a sudden, the announcer sits there and says it, right now, you don't need to do anything crazy. Just, run the ball, get in field goal range. Don't pass it and throw an interception right on cue. Guy throws a pick, runs up. And then UNLV is getting up down the field. And I put this in the group chat where I was like, clock management, what are you doing? Because they let like 20, 30 seconds elapse right now. And they had 2 timeouts. And the announcer, the commentators were like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? But if you know the play call is going to work, you don't need that much time. They ended up calling a wheel route to the running back. Quarterback put it right over the defender's outstretched arms, and they ended up getting the touchdown, making it 17-13 going into the half. And from that point on, Kansas only scores 3 points, and UNLV completely takes over that ball game. And look, my new favorite last year, and I've said this to you, Diego Pavia from New Mexico, obviously now doing things in Vanderbilt and having that success. Matthew Sluka. I mean, when the pass game wasn't working, he was 7 of 18 from pass game. When that wasn't working, he just ran. And
yes, he did.
Right. And we always talk about, you don't want to use your feet, always look downfield. No, he put the game on, he put the team on his back and continued to run the ball, pulling over 124 yards on the ground. And at one point in the game, even the commentator said, hey, this is what's working. Like, they're just going right to him. They're not even, disguising it or anything like that. And he was tough. He went up against all those guys, and that team really hopped on his back. And I enjoyed watching it. They got the dub. And to your point, man, shout out to UNLV, man. Let's see where this goes.
Yep.
Let's definitely see where this thing goes.